Chapter 4: How to Dictate from Multiple Locations. Do you have multiple exam rooms in your practice? Do you have a network location that all of the computers can access? If you have multiple locations in your practice and a server, for example, to house your user profile, then you can create and use one user profile on each of your networked computers instead of creating individual user profiles on each computer. This feature is called the roaming user feature within Dragon. The roaming user feature allows you to store your Dragon user profile on your server or other networked location and access it from multiple locations. The roaming user profile is a condensed version of your full profile. To create your roaming user profile, you will start by creating a location on your network where you want to store your roaming profile. We suggest creating a folder called roaming and then mapping it as a mapped network drive. Please note that you will want to map this location on all of the computers that will be accessing your Dragon user profile. Also, please note that per the Nuance Dragon End User License Agreement, you can install and activate Dragon Medical on up to 4 computers for one user. You can see our roaming location here. Your IT administrator can help you create a location for your roaming user profile, or you can contact our support team for additional information. For the purpose of this demonstration, I will be using my Microsoft SkyDrive instead of a mapped network location. Next, you will want to create your full Dragon user profile, which we have already done, which is the profile that we've been using throughout the course. After you've completed your profile on one computer, you will close your profile and access the administrative settings. In order to access the administrative settings, on the Dragon bar, go to Tools, Administrative Settings. The first tab is the Roaming tab. Click Enable. Now that we've enabled the roaming user profile feature, we want to add a location where we can store our profile. Click Add. Enter a display name for your directory location. I will name our location Roaming. Then browse to the roaming location. I'll click Browse. We suggest using a mapped network drive, but you can also use a UNC path, HTTP, or HTTPS to store your profile. Now I'll click OK. The next item we want to enable is the option Allow non-roaming user profiles to be opened. This is an important step, otherwise Dragon will be pointing to our network location and will not see any profiles. We need Dragon to also be able to access our locally saved profile at this time. Now I'll click OK. In order to save your profile as a condensed roaming user profile on your networked location, you will need to access the Manage Users dialog box. On the Dragon bar, go to Profile and Manage User Profiles. The profile that you see here is our locally saved profile. By default, when you create a user profile in Dragon, it automatically saves the profile to the local C drive. The roaming user feature allows us to save the profile in a location of our choosing. My profile is highlighted and I'm going to select Advanced and Copy to Roaming. I'll select our roaming location and click OK. When I select the option Copy to Roaming, Dragon is going to condense my profile into a smaller version that is easier to access over a network and place it in the directory that we defined when we enabled the roaming user feature in the administrative settings. Now that our profile has been saved to the roaming location, we want to make sure that we aren't accidentally using the local profile. Let's go back to the administrative settings and remove the checkmark for the option Allow non-roaming profiles to be accessed. And click OK. Now only our roaming user profile will be available when we launch Dragon. This is our roaming user profile, and as you can see, the location of our user profile is our roaming folder. I'll click Open. Excellent. And you'll see that the Dragon bar doesn't look any different when you use the roaming user feature. Once you've created the profile directory and saved your profile to the roaming location, in order to be able to access the location from other computers, you will simply need to open the administrative settings, enable the roaming feature, and add the roaming directory, which points to the folder that now contains your roaming user profile. Once you have created the profile directory and saved your profile to the roaming location, in order to be able to access the location from other computers, you will simply need to open the administrative settings, enable the roaming feature, and add the roaming directory, which points to the folder that now contains your roaming user profile. You will not need to save your profile again since it's already available on the network. Please note that it is the responsibility of the IT administrator to regularly back up the roaming user profile. Roaming user profiles do not create automatic backup files in the way that local profiles do. If you have any questions about the roaming user feature, please contact our support department at support.recorders.com.